If you enjoyed this video, drop a like. So a statistic a while back, well recently really, it was sometime this week, so I'm just seeing if I could sit somewhere now. Alright, so we're gonna do this standing up. But yeah man, I saw this statistic a while back and I was saying, essentially January to be the most depressing month of the year. And I can see why. It's definitely a lot darker. I can only speak for England, of where I live in London, the capital. But I could see why people believe January to be the most depressing month of the year. I mean, you just came out of a high. Everyone celebrated New Year's, didn't they? And now you're back to reality, and it's back to the struggle. It's hello to hell again. Hell being your problems. And you're back to that struggle, right? So, and winter doesn't help with that too. There's this English language technique that people used to use, well, still used, what I used in high school. And it was called pathetic fallacy. It was essentially a language technique that we used in fiction. And it's where the weather reflects the mood of the characters. So let's say someone were to die in a scene, in a movie, it starts raining. And that rain represents the tears of, the sad scene that happened in the movie. And I'm looking out right now. You'd be surprised how common that actually reflects the real life too. I remember about nearly 4 years ago now, when our Queen Elizabeth II died, September 8th, 2022, if they got the date correct, I believe I did. Surprisingly, it started raining. Pathetic fallacy in work. The country was mourning. And for some of us guys, and many of us guys may feel that too. You may feel lost. You may feel like, bro, January's so depressing. Why do you feel so depressed in the beginning of the year? I hear you. That's why I'm making this video. January being the most, loneliest or depressing month. I mean, it definitely starts off dark, quite literally. I mean, you wake up at 5, well, I can only speak for me, but you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, it's pitch black dark. And, during the winter periods, days are a lot shorter. So you're going to be exposed to darkness a lot longer, quite literally. And you'd be surprised how often weather can actually play a mood on you. Most people, of course. And I want you guys to know, but you're in control of your own state of mind. You are in control of your own state of mind. You don't need to let yourself be mentally down just because the weather is, right? And act out in that way. Now, of course, we all have emotions, and we can't control the thoughts that come to mind. That's just human nature. But we are responsible for how we act towards that. And most of us are men here. And one of the superpowers men have against women, and not to make it an us versus them type video, but my audience is primarily men. So, of course, I'm going to take the advantage to tell you the benefits of what you have. You have the ability to control your headspace. You have the ability to control your mind. So I'd catch myself on many occasions, it'd be raining or the weather would be really shit. Let's say your house is leaking or a thunderquake, whatever, man. And you have that instinctive, innate action. Oh, hand's starting to hurt me. You have that innate action to, want to lash out because things are not going your way. It's a childish approach to go about things. It does link to what I'm talking about with January being not the best weather. Because it's going to be like this for the rest of your life. The weather won't go your way for the rest of your life. So what you got to do is just come to terms with it. And in terms of January being the most loneliest season, I want you to realize that there is a time and place for everything. And these seasons are going to pass by. And so long as you keep living, of course, we're going to die one day. January will continue to come every single year. 365. Some 356, 366. If you have a leap year, of course. But for most of us, all of us really, you're going to deal with that your whole life until the day you die. So you might as well come to terms with it. And how to cope with January being, quote unquote, the worst month of the year. Well, I just pretty much do what I always do. And I just give myself positive words of affirmations every now and then. So I just hype myself up, man, and realize what you're going through is temporary. This is a test of your character. This is a test of your resolve. But some people like to end it all when things don't go their way. Never understood that, if you ask me. I never did. I always found it weird. I'm like, these periods, everyone likes to say, hey, cool, it's January. Oh, new year, new me. I don't believe in that type of stuff, man. But even if you did want to run with that narrative, I would say the best time for that is summer. Or maybe spring going into summer, And I say that because, if you want to run with that narrative of, you have all that optimism at the beginning of the year, what I tend to find is everyone has the optimism in New Year and then January the 1st, but as soon as January 2nd hits, they're back to that reality and then it doesn't go the way they wanted. So I see these periods, these dark, lonely winter periods, as a training ground. I see these lonely periods as a way to come to terms with yourself. As a period of isolation to really build yourself in the struggle, if you will. It's wet, it's cold and windy. Work on your craft. Find an interest, you know. Whether you're getting paid on it or not, find something that you enjoy. You'd be surprised how much fulfillment it gives you in life, man. Fill your days up with schedules of activities that you actually enjoy. And most importantly, know that whatever struggle you're going through, it's temporary. Know that God is with you so long as you call him. You know? He's there anytime. January being the loneliest month of the year. Does it feel lonely for me a bit? Yeah, a bit. But I'm used to this. 2020 taught me that. That lockdown stuff, man. It was definitely something new. But man, did we learn a lot too. And I didn't even say that to rhyme. It just happens to be true, you know. January being the loneliest month of the year. I'm 14 days into that. And pushing 20 years of dealing with that. So I believe I'm qualified to talk. As are you, because you're still alive. Regardless of the struggle, any struggle or BS you faced, you're still alive here today, so you must be doing something, right? And you're living in January, you're watching this video in the month of January, God willing. If you're not, it's cool too. Yeah, links for both, it's good for both. If you're watching it in January, well, it's all the more proof. You got it in the bag too, and you're qualified to speak. You've proved that you're worthy of enduring hardship. So I end it all. You don't have to kill yourself, man. This is just a trial that's going to build you for a greater testimony to come. This trial you're going through now is going to inspire people in the future. I don't like the filming environment right now. I don't like how my hands are cold even though I'm wearing gloves. It sucks. It's one of those cold weathers, those cold seasons where it's cold. However, you know, you got to push through. Part of me does prefer, well, I'm more on the introvert side, so when I record, I do like the fact of it's dark and no one can really see me. Not that I have social anxiety or anything like that, but it's just nice to have your own little limo zone and the thing is just blacked out, no one really sees what you're doing. But there is a risk to that too, in terms of it being too lonely physically when you're recording outside, in the sense of, well, then again, I do make the decision to go outside. I quite like the air, but clears my mind too in the morning. But then there's that risk of, oh, I'm filming. You see a silhouette of a person walking up to you, you don't know what that person's gonna do, so I kind of have to get out of the park. That's what sometimes in my videos, you see me just stand up and walk at the park, and yeah, it's because there's someone in front of me, bro, and I don't know what this guy's gonna do because it's too dark. If it were daytime, it's different though, you know? But yeah, man, January being the loneliest time of the year, how we cope through that, I believe you already know the answer, but sometimes you need someone else to tell you again. And suicide is a real thing, it does come. That thought does happen to me every now and then. And it's not something to be ignored. By no means, because it's a very serious matter. And I actually believe men don't talk about this as much as they should. So important, man. So important to seek help as soon as possible. And don't just brush it off. Address it. You know? Not in the sense of acting upon it, but question it. Why do you have that thought? You know? Write about it. Meditate on it. You know, I need to take my own advice. For sometimes life gets hard. You want to end it all, I hear it. And suicidal thoughts happens to me a lot. You know, but I realize it's only it's a temporary stage. A lot of you guys need to realize, man. You guys need to realize that a bad day doesn't mean a bad life. It's just a temporary trial in your life. And this trial, when you overcome it, will open more doors for you, whatever that may be for you. You know, I'm gonna do so to end the video. It's kind of gone everywhere now, so I'm gonna end it. I don't want this video to be too random, but I hope you got something out of it. But yeah, I had to overcome January, but I do, man. Keep a positive mindset, keep your mentals good. That's the most important thing you can do. I find training works out for me a lot. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna do some boxing, and you have to realize, man, this trial is temporary. It's not gonna last forever. And I like to see trials like this as an opportunity to test your resolve. You come out the other side and you're as bright as a phoenix. You're mentally on point. People are gonna pick up on that, you know? And you can be the light that shines upon others. And it doesn't even have to be direct. Simply you just doing you. It's going to inspire people to move up too. Make a change in their own lives. Simply just doing you, man. Keep doing what you've been doing. And if you're incontent with who you are, just up your standards, you know? So here's how I survived January and still doing good now. Despite, the occasional, suicide thoughts and every stuff like that. And you guys gotta realize you're not your thoughts until you act on them. There's a reason why I'm still alive now. Humans are sinful by nature. I'm sure you have many thoughts every parts of the day of doing something that you never, and you wouldn't do. And it doesn't match your character. Me being a testament of how I get suicide thoughts every now and then. But I'm not that thought. It's just a cloud that passed through my mind, and I proved that I'm not that thought because I'm still alive and I didn't die by suicide. And God willing, I will die by old age. And that's all I have to say, man. I hope I uplifted someone, man. I'm not the best speaker, but yeah, man, this is how I've been coping and still be able to be positive and keep a good head on my shoulders during these times. January is the worst, loneliest month. I have to agree. But by my standards, I'm still here now, so gotta be doing something right, man. Right? Anyway, I'm gonna do some boxing now. Really cold. I gotta warm up my gloves now, so I'll catch you in a bit, bro.